Wow, it has been a crazy NFL week. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure most of you know already that he tested positive for COVID, and there's been a whole lot of backlash based off of his interview in, I believe it was August, when he was telling everybody that he'd been immunized. And basically he had tried to say, that it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge people that don't get the vaccine, which now we know he didn't get the vaccine. And the Packers haven't been making him wear his mask. And clearly they had to have known that he was not vaccinated. So there's a lot of things that come into question, including, what the NFL knew, things like that. So it's going to be one of those things where this could get a little bit messy. Like I've heard that the Saints, I think I kind of remember that. I can't remember if it was last year or this year. But the Saints, got penalized for not holding to the rules of COVID as tightly as they should. So it's gonna be interesting, seeing what all's happening. And hey, it looks like Chris is here. Hey, what up, Chris?
Dude, it is another day, but I've been looking forward to this Saturday because we can finally talk. I can finally talk about some NFL, NBA. I can finally get it off my chest for the freaking week. Woo!
Hey, if you got, by the way, thanks for sending me invites. Sorry I couldn't join your stuff. But if you got college you need to talk about, that's okay too. Whatever.
You're like
Video
my best
games.
friend. Hey, you're like my best friend, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Where
Yeah,
do
man.
we start? Where do we start in the freaking NFL?
Where do we start?
Let's see. Let's
I
talk
know
about.
it's been.
Let's see. Tom Brady was made to look like a average quarterback last Sunday.
Oh, because they lost. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the second interception. I can understand the first interception. Not a big deal. What the heck was he doing throwing the second interception? By the way, Brady, I have you on my fantasy team. That doesn't help me.
Right.
I looked at
Yeah.
him
No, it
minus
was.
13 points, and I was like, Brady, you freaking suck right now. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy.
Dude,
What?
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, you're fine. You're fine. Keep talking on that.
But the crazy thing was hearing that Dak Prescott was not going to be playing against the Vikings, and I was like, oh, there goes all my hopes of seeing them beat the Vikings. And what did they do?
You think that's bad now?
What did they do?
Well, you know what I'm not happy about? I'm not happy that he's playing against the Broncos.
Boo-hoo. Sad day for you, happy day for me. So,
we might have had a shot. If the MVP wasn't playing for you guys this week, we might have had a shot.
Y'all would have won even if Kovar Rush was quarterback.
Well, we might have still lost, but it was more likely to back out that we'd win.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, y'all would have won either way, but
you guys got a backup though. It looks like, huh?
I have to say, I was thoroughly impressed with Kovar Rush. Yeah, he had that one interception.
Yeah.
Xavier Rhodes. But dude, he turned it on when it mattered the most. Oh man, that was impressive, dude.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, dude, I totally forgot. We don't have to change the subject, but I was going to talk about Rodgers at some point, and I totally forgot about the Odell thing until a second ago.
Dude, you're not the only one who totally forgot about it until you just mentioned it. I don't know what to think about the whole Rodgers deal or the whole Odell Beckham deal. Like that just doesn't make any freaking sense to me whatsoever.
No, but it's awesome to talk about.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Like it's really good
Yeah,
topics.
for our listeners, this is what we give y'all. We give you good content. We're like Stephen A. Smith and Max. What's his last name? For First Take. Oh,
Oh, he's not on there anymore.
oh,
Max
well, he used
Kellerman.
to be. Yeah, him. I'm like Stephen A. Smith.
It's like
I'm like Stephen A. Smith, and you're Max whatever or whoever they have now. I think they have Michael Irvin now.
what now? It's like a rotating crew. How come you get to be Stephen A?
Because Stephen A. is kind of me. I don't want to sound racist when I say this, but I'm not going to try to say this in a racist way. He's me, but in a black man version, okay? To anyone out there,
Hey,
that was
so
not racist. That was just
you
perfect.
know who was on there yesterday was Tim Tebow.
Dude, I'll watch that, and I was thoroughly impressed. Tebow definitely has a career in that.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
dude.
if he couldn't make the Jaguars team, which I'm still ticked off about, but we also know that Urban Meyer sucks, so yeah,
Dude, that whole show, like, are you Christian?
yeah,
That whole show, that First Take,
yeah.
I'm liking it more and more because you can tell, like, what's her name, Molly, and like Stephen A.
Eva.
Even it seems like majority of the people on there, whether they say it, I guess they don't say it directly, but
Yeah, but
like,
you can definitely tell, like, they're not, like Colin Coward is, I don't want to say enjoy, I listen to him on Spotify a lot of times, dude. I don't.
I like Cowherd. I listen to Cowherd, but yeah, he's definitely not a Christian.
What are the dogs barking about? Oh, Lord. My grandma got me these pair,
But
my grandma
like,
got me these pair of Bluetooth headphones, and I have to say, they are the bomb.
oh yeah, Bluetooth headphones are so good these days.
Dude, have you ever heard of the Skull Candy headphone product? Yeah,
Yeah,
those are,
yeah, yeah.
dude, I have no problem. Like, I have a pair of wire ones that you plug in too, and those are nice, especially like if you're, you know, if you're on a plane or whatnot. But these are probably my favorites. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely am gonna stick with this brand. But anyway, back to football to all of our listeners. Sorry, we need to have a name for this freaking show, like because it's like me and you do it most of the time.
Well, it's sports, video games, and whatever podcast.
Chris Roby and Chris Kovar, sports, video games, and anything. Well, sports and video games talk. Boom, taken care of.
I just usually what I do is I say it's the Saturday pod, like the
Yeah,
day I do it, and then
welcome to
it's
the
like the
Saturday podcast. Yeah.
well, it's always sports, video games, and more. But then I say, but then I for the episode title I put Saturday pod or Sunday
Yeah.
pod or whatever day.
So I was talking to Xavier Sims about this on a different in a different room. But this is where I think a lot of back to the NFL, no offense to anyone. But here's the problem that I see with Jacksonville. Let's get the Saxonville out of the way. I don't know what to think anymore about Jacksonville. But Urban Meyer, you're expecting. Now, this is where Jaguar fans should have realized this from the beginning, before the season started. Urban Meyer is not the
Yeah,
answer to all your problems, Jacksonville. It's just not. He will never be the answer to your problems. Oh, you
right.
drafted Trevor Lawrence thinking, oh, this kid can carry us. College and the NFL are way complete two different things. College is not as fast. It may
Yeah,
be a little bit compared to high school, but it's not as fast as the NFL because in the NFL, guys are going at 100 miles an hour to beat you. to hit you, Trevor. Oh, wait, you thought your strong arm could carry
Right.
you. Look at Justin Fields for a second. And by the way, I do applaud the Bears for actually making him their starter. That's what Bears fans have wanted for the longest time. And Matt Nagy
Yeah.
finally gave them the early Christmas wish. Yeah, something off their wish list this year. Santa Claus fulfilled it. When you look at Fields, he has freaking speed. Lawrence does not. He's a pocket style quarterback. And that's not going to work in today's NFL. Look at Trey Lance, even from North Dakota State University. It's the same university that Carson Wentz to. Quarterbacks.
Or look at Mac Jones.
Dude, he looks even better with New England. And that's saying something about New England, which there's not a whole lot to applaud in New England about, but okay. Which is kind of sad, but who really cares about New England? I mean, Patriots fans do, but yeah, but dude, when you look even at the poor Houston Texans, this was not their year at all. No. It really wasn't. Like, the teams that are trash, let's just get them out of the way so we can actually talk about the teams that actually do matter. Like the poor Detroit Lions. That head coach is not going to... Let me just say this to the teams that do not have that think their head coaches are great. Jacksonville, Urban Meyer's not the solution. Fire him after the season, please. An embarrassment. He is a total embarrassment to the freaking NFL. And also, Henry Ruggs is also facing 20 years in prison, and we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, yeah, that happened too. Damn, dude, it was like so much news.
Yeah, 20 years. For DUI.
Oh, did they announced it was 20 years?
That's what I was hearing. I don't know if it's officially announced, but Newsbreak had a little segment about it on Reddit.
Do you listen to Pro Football Talk at all?
I listen to it sometimes. But I've also been listening to, obviously, like First Take. Oh, and Tom Grossi podcast.
Right.
Oh my gosh, Tom Grossi.
Dude,
probably one of my.
You know, they had a really Chris Sims and what's his name, Mike Florio.
Yeah.
Chris Sims is an old Bronco quarterback, as you probably know. Or for a little while.
Didn't he play for the? He also played for the Falcons too.
Well, I think he was on multiple teams, but his dad is Phil Sims, the old Giants.
His dad is the old. Oh my gosh! Well, no wonder where Chris Sims got it. Except he didn't win a Super Bowl, unlike his dad. That's not saying anything about either one of them, but okay.
But anyway, I gotta get back to my point.
Go.
But what was crazy was, they were talking about, and when I first saw that the Raiders cut him, I was like, okay, well, obviously that makes sense, Like, they want to wash their hands of it, and they don't want to deal with it, and, blah, blah, blah. But then, Chris Sims and Mike Florio had the point that this kid is like 22 years old or 23, and, now it would have been nice, maybe they're doing it behind the scenes, but it's like it would have been nice, not taken away from the victim, of course. I mean, that's terrible. But it would have been nice to see them, like, support him, too. You know what I mean? Like, because he didn't mean to kill her. Like, he's going through a whole lot himself, And I was, that just really hit me. Like, yeah, like, they're so fast at cutting people these days because it might make them look bad. But it's like, what about that person? Like, what about the 22-year-old whose career and life is ruined?
Yeah, and did you hear what Derek Carr had to say about that whole situation? He basically came out. So Derek Carr is a Christian, and which is really nice because I think, you kind of like.
That's cool.
And for those of you who listen to this, yes, I'm a Christian, and I'm not afraid to say that, but that's either there. But he basically came out and
Same.
Oh, congratulations. he basically came out and said, look, he doesn't need to be hated right now. He doesn't need what everybody's going to say about him on top of him right now. He goes, this kid has messed his life up and he knows that. He goes, he's going to be reminded of that every day now for the next 20 years.
Right.
And he goes, I'm here to support him. He goes, I'm gonna love him and I'm gonna try to go see him every day. Which for a quarterback to say that about a former teammate, even when you look at the Aaron Hernandez deal, not one of his teammates ever said they were gonna go check on him. Oh no. The Patriots were like, well, screw it, Hernandez, you're on your own. Well, that was manslaughter, but this is also manslaughter. But I think the point.
Well.
Yeah, well, that's two different things.
Yeah.
But I feel like.
Yeah, but I feel like Aaron Hernandez was a murderer, like an actual murderer and bad dude, though.
Yeah,
you know what
I think
mean?
he was. And even when you look at his time in Florida, and we'll get back to the Henry Ruggs deal here in a second.
Yeah.
I don't think Hernandez was ever going to want to change. Literally, he never was going to change. So, for people to say, oh, well, his former fiance, who's not married, has said this, it wasn't fair for what they did. What do you mean it's not fair? The justice system is put there in place. Right. He did something. He knew what he was doing. We can't don't act like he didn't know what he was doing, people. He knew what he was doing. He did it. He acted off what he knew was the thing what he was going to do. The Henry Ruggs deal is a whole different ball game of itself. So for the people who still think Aaron Hernandez is innocent, stop thinking that and open your eyes to the truth. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Back to the Ruggs deal, I will agree with you almost on all of it, but I honestly, it breaks my heart to see somebody like that. Also, Calvin Ridley is taking a break from football too, if you did not hear.
Right. That's awful too, that he has to do that.
Yeah, because the thing is DeMarcus Lawrence, who is it? I think it was DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the guys for the Cowboys. Like, the NFL needs to take this serious, and I don't think the NFL does. Mental awareness, mental health is a serious thing in the NFL. Yeah. But people don't make...
Well, that's not the first... Hasn't there been multiple players this year that have mentioned it?
I think so. I don't remember. I do know...
I think so.
I do know, it's on the tip of my freaking tongue. Why can't I not get... Dang it. Like, you look at somebody like Andrew Luck, for instance.
Right.
His career was short-lived. Like, Andrew Luck, in my mind, was one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. Because if you heard him mic'd up, this is something I don't even hear out of most quarterbacks. After, somebody would hit him, or somebody would, whatever, sack him, you go, oh, that's a good ass hit, Like, literally, he would compliment his opponent. What quarterback does that? There aren't a whole lot who will compliment a defender for hitting them. Most of the time you're chewing out your tongue going, yeah. So, I don't know. Mental awareness, for those of you who listen to this, let me just say this. Mental health is a big deal. And if you know somebody that is struggling, don't be afraid to reach out and check on them. That's literally people need to know. People hear enough hate as it is from this world. Check on your loved ones. You never know if you could save somebody's life. Now, back to football. And God bless the Detroit Lions, because they certainly suck.
Yeah. Let's jump over to either Odell or what was the other thing?
Odell or
or Rodgers.
I'll let you pick.
Well, let's go with Rogers first because when you got on, I was talking about that. I think
Yeah.
when you jumped on the podcast.
Take it away, Chris.
But
I said, take it away, Chris. It's all yours.
Right. But that whole thing was crazy, dude, because he pretty much lied to everybody, and it's crazy that he was he said something like it was in the August interview. I'm sure you've probably been hearing it be played on different places. But he's all like, I'm not going to judge anybody, but yet he was someone that wasn't vaccinated too. So it was just kind of, I don't know, man. I feel like for somebody that was just an MVP last year, he took a pretty big gamble thinking that, and he is a smart guy. I'm not going to say he's not, but this, what he did was pretty dumb because you're taking a gamble, that you won't get caught, that you'll stay healthy all year long, and that I heard he took some kind of, I don't know, homemade thing, or his girlfriend gave him something where supposedly it was supposed to make him immune to the virus, which apparently wasn't super effective.
Yeah. My thoughts on that are, and something that also Rogers said in the beginning of the season, and I know you probably heard this, was after they got their butts spanked by the New Orleans Saints. Thank you, New Orleans, for taking out all my frustrations out on the freaking Packers. Oh, I love seeing them suffer for that. But he basically,
if they would have won that, if they could have won that game, that would have really helped right now.
That would have. But here's the thing. Rodgers basically came out and said they drafted my replacement, lame. You seriously?
He said what? Wait, what did he say?
They had asked him about, because Matt LaFleur was I don't know what his deal was, but he pulled Rodgers out and he played Jordan Love. And Jordan Love, by all means, from Utah State, if I'm correct, is probably one of the best quarterbacks I've seen, well, besides Cooper Rush. But Rodgers basically came out and said, you drafted my replacement, play him. Like, Rodgers honestly does not care anymore at this point. He won the MVP last year. You didn't make the Super Bowl. Big freaking deal. Okay? But no, to him, that's a big deal. Because, number one, the Packers, what are they going to, I don't want to say the Packers waste talent, but they definitely have a way of making Rodgers want to leave Green Bay. And I don't think he wants to do what Brett Favre did and retire, then unretire, go play for the Jets. We all know how that went, Brett Favre. Then retire and unretire again and go play for the Minnesota freaking Vikings.
It kind of reminds me of the Patriots a little bit, where they were like, well, we're not going to give you everything you need. We're kind of going to waste this championship window a little bit,
Brady, that's the thing with Tom Brady. And now I get it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a shot making the playoffs and all that stuff, and we're like 2 months away from seeing that. And I'm definitely going to be watching the wild card round to see who makes it. And I don't think the Cowboys are one of those wild card teams. So we're good. Dallas Cowboys, we're good so far. But when you look at what New England did in Brady's final year, I don't think they gave him the talent that he wanted. Julian Edelman retired right after that.
Right.
No, he stayed for one more season, and I get it. Edelman was frustrated also, and I can see it from both sides. But I don't think Belichick honestly cared enough about Brady or the organization. Oh, when he came back to New England, which, by the way, if you guys didn't watch that game, go back and rewatch the highlights of that game. Brady made the Patriots wish he was part of their team. He beat them. Let's just admit that.
Yeah.
He also
That was a good. That was a good
Literally, it
game.
was because I mean, even the Cowboys beating the New England Patriots was even better. But congratulations, Tom Brady. I rooted for him. I rooted for him one night. I didn't like the Patriots. I didn't like the Buccaneers, and I had no choice. And I was like, well, I guess I could be biased in this. But then when I realized Bill Belichick sitting on the other side, I was like, nah, I'll cheer for the Buccaneers one time. You know. Oh Lord, dogs are deciding to bark at everything. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what to think about Rodgers. It's crazy. I hope things work out, but if the NFL decides to fine him, why don't you just suspend him for the rest of the year? How about that?
See, you got to be. The thing is, sorry to backtrack really fast, but the thing with the Packers is they're not the Rams. Look what the Rams just did. They brought in Von Miller.
Which I would totally forgot about until you brought that up. Exactly. They brought in Von Miller.
Like full pedal to the metal. We got to get this championship. Come on, go go go. You know?
Exactly. And I don't think the Packers are doing that. I don't think they're going
No.
in the right direction with it. They don't care. All they want is more talent. So yeah, and here's the other thing that doesn't make sense to me is why would you, it was the same way with the Lions and Matthew Stafford. They never once cared about him. They sent him to the freaking Los Angeles Rams
Right.
for what? Oh, the way I look at it in Detroit and Los Angeles drafted Goff for a reason. Oh, and it also showed that Los Angeles didn't have enough respect for Jared Goff because what did he do? They sent him to a team where Goff is going to have to suffer all over again. Oh Lord, unless they change their head coach.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
The only wins that Jared Goff has gotten, I heard this on, I think it was ESPN or somewhere, but the only wins that Jared Goff has got was with Sean McVay, because he's 0-4 on the Lions, and he was 0-4 with Jeff Fisher when he was the Rams coach.
He is 0-8 in total with both of those coaches, with Dan Campbell and Jeff Fisher. But when you look at what when the Rams brought in Matthew Stafford, what did they do? They're like, hey, Stafford, we'll work around you. We'll work with you. Oh, we'll install an offense that's based on your playing style. Stafford is an RPO type of quarterback where it's the run pass option. And the reason why the Rams are so great this year, and by the way, the addition to Von Miller, Arizona, I would not want to be facing them.
Yeah.
Come the second time you have to play them, because here's the thing. Now this is a battle for the NFC East. If I'm correct. No, NFC West, not NFC East. The Cowboys in the NFC East. Oh Lord. It is going to be a battle for the NFC West. And here's the thing: the Niners don't have him in it, don't have it in them this year. Oh, and nor do the Seahawks, because the Rams will dominate unless they run into Arizona, which I don't think Arizona has talent. They just lost J.J. Watt to shoulder ending surgery. So the way I look at it is the Rams have that division wrapped up, and they're getting it with a Christmas card that says, from the Lions, that says, "Dear Matthew Stafford, please come back to Detroit. We need you. Love, Detroit." But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think everyone's like, when you look, oh, let's not forget AJ Green's, I don't know what happened. I think his brain drew a blank or something, because literally he's supposed to run a fade, which is 1-2, look at the ball. But what does he do? He thinks Murray is going to scramble out. Oh, Murray wasn't planning on scrambling out anytime soon, AJ Green. So, Arizona fans, I will not blame Kyle Murray for that loss. I'm blaming I don't want to say the dumbest wide receiver, but the wide receiver, like Marshawn Lattimore in the Minneapolis Miracle, he drew a blank. It's like, catch the ball.
Yeah.
All you have to do, 1-2, look at the ball, catch it. No. Now we have the Odell Beckham crap.
Yeah. Oh, just really fast before we switch to Odell. Dude, it was crazy. Like, I was listening to one of the ESPN shows or whatever, and they were talking about the fact that Von Miller is not going to be double teamed anymore, right? Because they got Aaron Donald.
Oh, that's right. Because the pressure
So
now
think
goes.
about, dude, Von is not that old. He's my
Oh, I'm
age. I mean,
excited.
he's old. He's old in football years, I guess, but he's my age. He's only 32. So think about it. If he's not double covered, dude, this could be a resurgence for Von Miller's career.
Dude, wasn't he the same guy that sat? Bronco fans are going to love me for this. Cam Newton. Like, literally,
No,
that guy's
dude, that's the thing, dude. Like, that's the thing. I think, and it's funny because he only became my favorite Bronco now that he's traded, but
yeah.
he's my favorite Bronco ever, dude. And I've always loved the fact that he won that Super Bowl for us and he forced the fumble and he kicked Cam Newton's butt and all that stuff. I've always loved
Superman
that.
was put to kryptonite.
Yeah, like I've always loved that and appreciated that. But dude, hearing him, I mean, I'm sure that helped some hearing him like almost cry when he was talking about how Denver's meant, he pretty much said Denver's meant everything to him. It's all he's ever known in his NFL career. And he just,
Yeah, now he's getting. Yeah.
but then they asked him, so what do you think about LA? What are you thinking about the Rams? And he went from almost crying to being like, well, I'm a team guy and I'm going to be all in. And they got Donald and they got Stafford and they got, I'm kind of, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but it was kind of funny. He was about to cry and then all of a sudden he's all excited about the new team.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, that also takes the pressure off Aaron Donald, too.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald won't be double teamed either. Because here's the thing. Now, the Arizona Cardinals fans, listen to me. I know you're in the same division with them. Do not expect. I would not be wanting to double team either one of those guys. Oh, you have to. You're going to have to double team somebody.
Yeah.
But then that also means who do you keep in the backfield to stop them? Who do you keep in the backfield to stop Von Miller or Aaron Donald?
Yeah.
There's no way to. There's not going to be a way to stop them at
Right.
all. So I don't know.
No, dude, and that's the thing. He didn't choose to leave Denver,
No.
so I'm still gonna root for him. I hope that his career does surge.
Anyway, we have the Odell Beckham Jr. crap.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's Odell is something else, dude. That was crazy because the trade deadline was up, right? And then
Yeah.
his dad puts that video out, right, of all the times
Yeah.
he was open, and that Baker didn't throw it to him. And
Which, for Cleveland, that was just straight up disrespectful.
yeah, dude, that was a slap in the face. And they're talking about how what's his name, Jarvis Landry. I guess him and Odell were like roommates or something, and they go way back.
Yeah, they were roommates in college and then played. Obviously, their NFL careers went a different way. Yeah, but here's the thing that I want to say to Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad. Why Jesus, take the wheel. Would you do that? That's a slap in the face to who Baker Mayfield is as a quarterback. He's not gonna throw it to Odell Beckham every time he gets open. Because what happens if he's getting rushed? You can't do that. And here's my thing to Odell. Just shut up and play football. Stop trying to be the guy. Like, we all remember the Josh Norman Odell deal when Carolina went and played New York. Oh my Lord. Okay. Odell, the problem that I have with him, Chris, is this. He is not an elite wide receiver. He does not belong in the list of top 10 wide receivers of all time. He will not.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He can be,
Yeah, he can be.
but in Cleveland, it wasn't the right fit. And from what I've heard, they're more run centric, right? So they're not focused on like throwing the ball. He needs to go, where he's like the number one, and then
He's never
he's
gonna be the
really
number one though.
he's never going to be the number one.
I don't think he will
There's got
ever
to be
be the number one. So that's my personal opinion on it. That's my personal.
It depends on, because even if he goes, and there's some places like the Buccaneers have been thrown out there, which is just crazy if Brady gets another weapon. But if he's able to go somewhere like the Rams, I heard, which would make sense, right? Because they throw to the wide receivers more, whereas like the Browns had their tight ends, plus they were more run centric, right? But it could work if you got the right quarterback and the guy's going to throw to him quite a bit and that type of thing.
Right. I think the other thing that you have to look at is Odell. Like you said, he needs to be in an offense that does pass the ball. But also at the same time, what his dad said was totally unnecessary. That was totally uncalled for, dude. I don't know why he opened up his mouth and said that, but that's also whatever, I don't know.
Well, it does seem
Joe,
like
good luck,
Odell.
Joe, and I hope you do find a team. Not that I'm saying I would ever root for you.
Like it does seem like like Odell kind of either asked his dad to do that or something.
Yeah, well, like you said earlier, the whole wow, somebody's had an accident because sirens are big time.
Hopefully, it's not Henry Ruggs on the road again.
And then obviously my dogs decided to start howling at 100 miles an hour. But anyway, let's get to some good teams like I don't know. We have the 7-1 Rams. We have the 7-1, almost 8-0 Cardinals. But they're I don't know. My Warriors seem to be doing pretty good. Chris?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry.
Like,
that guy, what's his name? Kyler Copeland. He had messaged, so I was like reading it.
Kyler Copeland. Huh.
Anyway.
I recognize that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see him in the group?
No.
He was in the group for a second. But yeah, no, he was saying basically Baker is trash. He said you're not wrong. I think he was talking about what you were saying. And then he said,
thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that.
And then he said Odell has never gotten to choose what QB he plays with. Yeah, which is true.
He played with Eli.
I mean,
yeah.
Then he was traded. He didn't even. It always seemed weird that he was going to the Browns. Now it makes sense, but it doesn't work.
Baker Mayfield is not the type of quarterback that Odell wants. Is my opinion on it. Yeah,
I could see him with a Brady or a Stafford. I could, because they spread the ball around, right? Like they're gonna get it to different guys.
Sean McVay and Bruce Arians. Well, no.
Or Kansas City was mentioned, which is totally true. Like they always, get their different wide receivers the ball, like early and late.
Yeah, well, even what they're doing with Josh Gordon right now, I don't know. If I were Kansas City, I don't know what I don't think I would go after him. You have Josh Gordon, work with him, and if it doesn't work out, then do something.
Yeah, they need to figure that out.
I just don't see it happening, though.
I mean, if they can't even work with Josh Gordon, why are you guys trying to figure something else out now?
Yeah, which explains a lot.
Figure that out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think even when you look at Kansas City this year, I don't know what to think anymore. This is not the same
Right.
Kansas City Chiefs team from from the past 2 seasons. And I think it
No, but
has,
they'll be back.
yeah, they will be. I'm not running them out. Absolutely not. But
Well,
also
this year maybe, but I mean, it might be a done season this year. I mean, we'll see, but
I
maybe
don't know.
not.
They lost to the Bills
I'm not. I'm not.
38 to
I'm not
20.
going to bet against them. You know, it's like Tom Brady. You never bet against them. You know.
Yeah, but the thing that I don't understand with Mahomes is you're saying your team can go 20-0. Look at what the Patriots did back in 2011, or was it 2010?
Right.
Yeah, it was 2011.
Eli
Undefeated,
Manning
and
magic.
then like Fitz magic almost. That was the that
Hall
was the
Hall of
ending off.
Hall of Hall of Famer Eli Manning.
I mean, I can't believe he's actually a Hall of Famer, but you
No,
know,
I don't think he is yet. I don't think he is, but I'm just saying, like maybe he should be.
I, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he is, he is. I mean, his brother's in the Hall of Fame, which his brother deserves it more. Like
What's
deserves it
what's
more.
gonna happen? And I'm gonna predict it right now. We'll see if this happens years down the road, Chris. But my prediction is they're gonna keep stubbing him or not letting him in the hall, and then he's either gonna get in like when there's no more opportunities to get in after that. Then they're gonna let
Yep.
him in, or it's gonna be like a lull, like, oh no, we don't know who to put in this year.
Or do what they did with Drew Pearson too, which I'm glad they fixed that. Oh my gosh, when they snuck
Which
in
I
that
don't think
first,
there's gonna be. There's probably not gonna be too many lulls because there's always good players now.
yeah, obviously. I mean, even look at Mahomes. If his career continues to go the way it goes, shoot, he could be in the Hall of Fame in 10 years. Which Kansas City, explain to me why you signed him to a
Dude,
10-plus year.
if he kept the pace he was on, dude, it would be like 5-6 years.
Oh, dude, I think he has it in him to go into the Hall of Fame in 5 or 6 years. He's gonna be like, well, I did everything I came here to accomplish. Okay, I'm retiring, going into the Hall of
Well,
Fame.
because if you look, like, not to make it the Broncos podcast, but if you look at Terrell Davis, he was really only good for what, like 5-6 years, and he just got in the hall.
Oh, yeah, because he was that good for 5 to 6 years. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how the Hall of
Right.
Fame works because I'm not in the Hall of Fame, although it would be nice to be. If they're like, oh, yeah, Chris, you're in the Hall of Fame of podcasting, I'll be like, sweet, if there was ever such a thing, but there will never be such a thing at all. I don't know.
Until we
But,
create it and we put ourselves in there.
I mean, there might be a possibility. Introducing the first Hall of Fame ballot, Chris Roby. Introducing the second Hall of
Oh my
Famer.
gosh, the creators are up for the first year. Wow.
Oh man, can you imagine? Oh no, can you imagine that actually happened? I'd be like, well, Chris, it's honestly nice retiring. At least I don't have to do this. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pull a Brett Favre here. Actually, I'm unretired from pod.
We're like we're like
Brett,
if we put our middle names on the ballot, maybe they won't know it's us.
I
Put our
don't know.
middle
They're
name,
like,
put
let's
our whole
listen to
name
this.
on
Oh yeah, you guys are not Hall of Famers. What? Oh man,
We've been
but
doing
no,
it
have
for
you?
6 months or 4 months.
Oh, that is. Oh my gosh, we have been doing it for 4 months. That is totally crazy. That is totally crazy that 4 months ago we freaking started this thing and we're going on in 5 months in December. Holy freaking smokes. I'm surprised. I'm like, but dude, what are your thoughts?
Well,
I'll,
it takes. Sorry to interrupt you. It takes like a few years, I guess, for podcasts to get successful. So we might be doing it for like a long time before it's really anything.
yeah, which I already told my dad. He's like, you're going to get a job. And I was like, I already have a job. I podcast. He's like, son, that is not a job. And I'm like, that is too a freaking job. Like, come on, man. He just like, he decided to root up. Oh, here's the funny part. So here's a really cool part. So he called me up and he knows I'm like this big football fan. Well, he literally got me the ESPN package that comes with NFL Game Pass. Well, I can watch any game I want to. I can also watch Thursday Night Football finally.
Oh wow! You can be our
I'll be doing all
insider
kinds-
for the. You can be our insider for the podcast. You can, like any specific question, I can be like, "What do you think about game so and so?" And then you can like look it up.
I'll be like, well, folks, that wasn't the greatest game. Dude, you know what we need to do in a couple of weeks? We need to do a freaking Sunday Night Football podcast again. Literally. I listened to it and I was like, I miss that, you know? Like, dude, next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Wait, holy crap.
You can't do it this Sunday?
My church is doing something
You're not
for
able
me.
to do it this Sunday?
No, my church is doing something for me before.
We need to go, nobody's on the board right now on the app. So why don't you, if you don't mind, put your number in on the messages?
Yeah,
and
by
that
the way,
way
for the intro, they haven't put the messaging deal yet.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll put mine on there too, and then that way you can reach me better.
Yeah, absolutely, because I'm like, discussion.
We don't want to say it on podcast because then everybody will have our phone numbers. But
yeah, being like, hey, can I get a hold of you? We'll be like, that was a total. Let's see. Let me make sure I got this right. Let me make sure I got this. Let me make sure I get this right before I actually text you. But no, what if
you know what? I'll message you another idea I have for a podcast, and maybe you can be part of that too.
Dude, definitely. Because here's the thing: like, I want to start up my own Like, I've been doing my own podcasting on like the side on a different app. But dude,
yeah.
Here's the funny part about the NBA is you definitely, and my dad said this, and I was I'm totally convinced by it. You're only going to see a team like the Lakers have a good resurgence or like whatever. Wow. I think Henry Ruggs is on the loose.
Man, you got all the fire trucks and everybody out there today.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what it is. It's Saturday. I was like, everybody's scrambling to get home for college football, which doesn't actually kick off in like another hour. But when I look at the Lakers, dude, their record is 5-4. When you look at the Warriors, which they won, they are tied.
Oh, yeah, congrats. I was going to tell you congrats. I realized they were so, like, they're the best team right now, right?
Well, they're second behind the Utah Jazz, but yeah. But
still,
they lost to, who did they lose to? Oh, they lost to the freaking Grizzlies. That's their only loss this year. The thing that I don't understand.
Other team, dude. That's my other team. I like the Grizzlies.
We are rivals for sure, but we're friends on the podcast, but our teams are rivals, man. What is that? Well, the Cowboys and Broncos are not.
Hey, my main team's the Nuggets, though, so like you don't have to hate me too much.
Well, even Denver's in the Western Conference, so anybody that's in the Western Conference, I'm sorry, but being a Warriors fan, and we're in the Western Conference, so the Western Conference is. Dad, you leaving? Alrighty, peace.
No, I'm not leaving.
No, let's talk to Dad. Alrighty, bye.
Oh, okay.
Love you.
Hey, don't forget to put your number on here.
I did. I just texted to you.
Oh, on email or what?
Oh, did I? Wait, did I get the number wrong?
I don't even see your number. I see my number. On the discussion for the green
Yeah,
room?
it's not. Is it 970? Oh,
Well,
it's
don't
not.
say it.
Oh,
Don't say it, dude.
I only got the first three numbers. Let me try this again. I think I got it. I think I got it
All you
wrong.
said was the Colorado area code, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I'm like, I think I got this wrong. And, uh, alrighty, Dad. Hey, see you later. Now let's see if I got this right. I think I did this time because it said, "Oh, this is a landline," and I was like, "Oh, freaking Jesus, check the word." But yeah, I mean, I won't hate on you because your team is the Nuggets by any means because they're obviously a good team.
For the
You
Grizzlies.
are the
You know who else I like is the Cavaliers. I still like them, even though LeBron left.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
I'm not too into them though because they suck. You know what I mean? Just like I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean, Denver's probably the best one out of the teams that are my teams. So,
yeah. Well, I only have
Denver.
one team.
I mean, either way, Denver would probably still be my top team. But even if they were the worst, but I feel even better about Denver because they're the better team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing though, when you look at the thing is with the Eastern Conference, it's like the NFC and AFC. NFC tends to have some really good teams that come out every single year into the playoffs. The AFC, you only see one or two good teams. It's the same way with the Western and Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference only produces
Yeah.
maybe one or two teams that may have a legit chance. The Western Conference, and because the NBA did this now playing tournament deal, which I don't think the Warriors will ever be in, which, oh Lord, that was a disaster for us, is you're going to see the teams that really want it be in it. You know, like the Atlanta Hawks, for instance, last year, you know, like they were a legit team. And I'm not saying that
Yeah.
they aren't, but when I look at the Lakers, you went out and you got Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook. I'm trying to think who
Oh.
else they got. You know, oh, Rajon Rondo and Alan Bradley or whatever his name, Avery Bradley. I don't
Yeah.
understand why they can't figure things out. Like, come on, guys, we're already what
Yeah.
9 games in, and you can't figure out how to play together. And then we saw Russell Westbrook get ejected,
Right.
like in the like in the ending part of a Thunder versus Lakers, which, by the way, OKC was never supposed to beat them. But no, the Lakers gave up a lead in the second half. Like, it's like trying to win a football game it's like the Texas
Dang.
Longhorns.
Dude, like,
They can't hold a
I mean,
lead.
as far as like the best teams, I actually have been going for the Lakers. But it's like, dude, come on, guys, like get it together.
Yeah, exactly. Get your freaking act together. But no, we don't want to
Dude.
say, we don't. Well, the problem that I have is when you look at like, okay, when you look at the Houston Rockets and the teams that have talent, my biggest question is, and this is the biggest what if in NBA history. What if James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and KD had stayed together in OKC? If Oklahoma City would have won
Right.
the championship in 2011 against the Miami Heat, would they have stayed together?
And again,
Probably not. You never know.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I think that would pull you back in though. Wouldn't it? If they could afford, I mean, part of the problem was they couldn't afford to repay Harden, right? Or was that not the case?
I think it was partly the case, but then there was other things that were gonna, get in the way, you know. Um,
Oh,
but
okay.
the thing, but then when you look at Westbrook and KD together, I don't see it. I don't see how those two played together for so long. And then this is where everybody wants to rat out, Kevin Durant. Hold on a second. He left OKC because he couldn't win in OKC. Russell Westbrook had that team. So what does KD decide to do? He goes, oh, I see the Warriors as being a team I can go play for. Wins the next 3 championships with them. Oh, and then by the way, after that, he leaves them for now, who he's with, the Brooklyn Nets. And James Harden, Jesus take the wheel, looks like he's retired. Because literally, ball was turned over, he lost the ball, it went over half court. If you lose the ball, you can still go get it. They're not going to call backcourt violation. But what did he do? He looked at it and the guy picked it up. Like, the guy threw a blank on him. I'm like,
yeah. What's kind of crazy is if you look at that, and maybe it wouldn't have worked anyway because you got Durant and then you got Harden and then you got Westbrook. So maybe the OKC, maybe it wouldn't have worked out in the end because you got all those personalities. But it seems like, unless I'm wrong, what's holding the Lakers back is Westbrook because he's always like turning the ball over and all this stuff. And then you look at Harden right now, and I heard they changed the rule. So now he's shooting like a lesser percentage and he's going to the free throw line a lot less. And so it's like you look at if OKC, if that whole team was still together right now, it would be dropping off a lot too, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, I can look at it that way, but I think the thing is with the Nets, even the whole Kyrie Irving deal that happened right before the season started and still going on. I don't understand that, Kyrie. I get it. You don't want to get the vaccination. But guess what? Andrew Wiggins is from Canada, which I heard, got the vaccination because if he went back home, he was facing, I don't know what, like I think they were going to press charges against him or something. What did he decide to do? Oh, he decided to be smart about it. Get the vaccination. What is Kyrie Irving doing?
Yeah.
He is like, no, I won't get it. I won't get it. Dude, just get the stupid vaccination and get it over with. Your team needs you.
Right. I mean, even Rodgers, that's what makes me sick about Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm a fan of Rodgers, but I'm really think it's stupid. He led kids and, everybody think he was vaccinated. So someone walks up to him and could get COVID from him. Like all these guys like Kyrie, they're loved by all these people. You think they'd want to protect other people.
But no, it's the thing that really irritates me is they know the consequences of what they're doing, yet they still decide to do it. That's the part that bugs me. You're a superstar. Now, Kyrie Irving has been probably one of those interesting players. Look at what he did with LeBron James back in 2016, which I still have a hard time watching that series on YouTube. Oh my gosh. That is like the one series I can never watch the highlights of Game 7 of. Because I'm like, that was one good year that LeBron and Kyrie had together. And then look at what happened the last year that they've ever played together. Irving basically came out and said, hey, after this season, I'm not going to be with the Cavaliers anymore. And he wanted to be his own man and go to Boston, which Boston, this is the thing, Irving. You knew you had a better shot at winning another NBA title with LeBron. But you went to Boston where they had Jason Tatum, a young superstar coming into his own, who, by the way, in a playoff game, outplayed LeBron. And LeBron basically came out and said, hey, that kid has earned my respect. He outplayed me. Kyrie, You didn't belong on the Celtics because the Celtics have their thing. Oh, let's see. Who did they bring back? They brought back Horford, whatever his name is. They brought back the talent that helps them win. Now, do I look at the Celtics as being a team that is a threat in these? By all means, absolutely, positively, yes. The Bucks, though, are the number one team this year that are a threat to take it all this year. Literally. That's plain and simple. They can take the Eastern Conference they want because the Nets are no longer that threat. Oh, yeah, they have KD. Big freaking deal. The Bucks have talent that returns. It's not like we see these teams that try to go after different talent. No. If the Lakers would have stayed together, that main group, instead of trying to add pieces, they would legit be a top 10 team. But they're not. They're at the bottom looking up at the Warriors and going, oh, snap. Because what the Warriors have done, they brought in young talent. But what is Steve Kerr doing? And I heard this from somebody else who does a podcast here on the Green Room. Steve Kerr is not playing the younger talent. He's playing the talent like Porter Jr., Stephen Curry, and Andre Iguodala. Those guys that have championship level, like have championship experience. And he's playing them over the younger guys. Why are the Warriors the number one? Well, I don't want to say they're the number one team, but if they beat the Jazz, why do I think that they will become the number one team at the end of the year, at the end of the season? Because they have talent that can outplay you, outmatch you point for point. But I don't know. I mean, the whole Kyrie Irving deal and the whole Aaron Rodgers deal, it ticks me off. It really does, because they're making themselves look bad, and they're making the teams that have been with them for so long look like idiots. And I don't think either organization is going to take that from somebody like Kyrie or from somebody like Rodgers with the Packers.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, I can't believe, how much there is to talk about this week for the for the podcast.
I mean, most of the time we're like, well, we just finished up, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy, and obviously, like, I watch a lot of YouTube highlights and stuff. That's where I get most of my insight, and obviously, like, I keep track of my fantasy teams also. But I don't know. It's gonna be crazy this year. This NFL season is gonna be crazy because I don't know, like, who's gonna honestly take it this year. Who's obviously gonna take the Super Bowl title? Obviously, me being a Cowboys fan. Really praying that this is our year. Like, literally, you have no idea for how long I've had to sit. I've had to sit through Chris, I've been a Cowboys fan for 8 years, going on 9 in January.
Yeah.
I've had to sit through 9 freaking years of, we get to the playoffs, we lose to the Green Bay Packers, which, by the way, Green Bay, if you come and play Dallas at home, we are not giving Aaron Rodgers 10 freaking seconds to work with. Thank you. I can't. Like, I have sat there and I have endured, as any fan would, including Broncos fans. I'm not dishing them out. But you guys have had to suffer through so much.
Dude, just sorry to interrupt really fast. I was just thinking about how many years I've been a Broncos fan. It's been 25 years. Isn't that insane?
Dude, I'm going on 9 years being a Cowboys fan. I'm going on.
At least we've had one Super Bowl win since then. That's all. I mean, at least, right?
Yeah,
like,
congratulations. What have the Cowboys had to endure, Chris? We've had to endure. Let me just remind you what we had to endure for the last 9 freaking years. We had to endure Tony Romo for the last 3 years of his career. Oh, there was that one good year, and then there was a catch, which don't even get me started. We had to endure 2015, a year where Tony Romo looked like glass every time he stepped on the field.
Dude, Romo, like, and that's part of the problem with the NFL is like, not in a bad way. Like, I love the NFL, but there's so much talent. Like Romo was always so good, but because the league was so good, he just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, exactly. We had to endure that for a year. Then Dak Prescott came through. Romo was going to start that in 2016, which I'm glad he didn't. Oh Lord, I would have had to sit there and go, well, another year has gone by and the Cowboys still suck.
Dude, your biggest problem, and it's never been more glaring than right now, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but the more that I look at Jason Garrett and how you guys were 500 every year or whatever it was, dude, and then you look at the Green Bay guy that only won one Super Bowl his whole career so far, and then you look at how you guys have only had him. This is the second year, and you guys look like the best team in the NFL. Like, Jason Garrett was your problem.
Thank you. I will wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
I don't know how stupid. Like, don't get mad at me, but dude, how stupid you got to be to keep Jason Garrett in there every year for what, 7 years or whatever?
8 years.
8 years or whatever. Hey, that was pretty close for not being a Cowboys fan. I'm pretty dead on.
Yeah, you were up by like 2 years, but okay. But here's the problem. We had to endure that. Oh, and then Mr. Breaks a Lot got injured against the Seahawks. We knew it was over at that point. What did Dak Prescott do? Oh, and let's not forget what Ezekiel Elliott did to Cam Chancellor in that preseason game. He freaking ran him over. Like, Cam Chancellor got up after hitting Elliott and basically kind of mouthed something to him. And Elliott was like, oh, he has no idea. He hit Cam Chancellor so freaking hard. I kid you not. Chancellor looked like he had been hit by a dump truck or something. Because Chancellor was like, "Oh, that's who this kid is." And then we had to endure the last 4 years of Prescott's career, including last year, which we don't talk about last year. Oh no. We all knew Andy Dalton wasn't the answer. Oh no, we beat the Eagles. Congratulations.
Right.
We couldn't beat the Redskins or the Washington football team, who politically correctness does not fit in my category. We lost to a team that doesn't have a name. I'm sorry. I'm like Tom Grossley with the Packers. We lost a team that has no name. And we want to go, oh, yeah, we'll let Andy Dalton get hurt, and then we'll start Ben DiNucci. I had even...
Dude, what?
I'd never heard of
him. Hey, really fast.
Sorry.
No, I just want to cut in there really fast. You know, the Washington Redskins, you know how they were talking about maybe they'll be called the Generals or whatever. There's all these, like, weird names. What do you think about the Renegades or the Rebels?
The Washington Rebels?
Yeah, or the Renegades. Dude, that would be sick.
I don't even know what to think about that team anymore. Dan Snyder is the problem there, but we all know, the Redskins don't notice it. We'll never notice it. But no, literally, why why would you take off the name Redskins? That was the biggest, literally, come Thanksgiving for the last 8 years. Literally, I remember watching them face Washington on Thanksgiving Day. That was the biggest game on Thanksgiving. I remember circling my calendar every single year and going, they play the Redskins on Thanksgiving Day. That is the one game I know I'm going to look forward to. But they changed the name, and I'm like,
now it's going to be now it's going to be the Cowboys and Rebels or Generals or whatever.
If it's the Rebels, then I'm going to puke. I don't know. I'm going to revolt.
No, dude, I'm no, I don't know. I'm the one that came up with Rebels or Renegades, but it's better than any of the other front runner names.
Did you see what the Cleveland Indians are going to do? They call themselves the Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians? Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, that doesn't... Oh, by the way, congratulations to the Atlanta Braves for winning the freaking World Series. My dad was not happy. Oh, no. Oh, I had to hear
dude. Yeah, I was actually going for the Braves, but don't tell your dad that.
Same. I was same. I won't tell my dad that I was going for the Braves, but I called him up after work. And I was like, I heard your Astros lost. He goes, son, I got 2 words for you. Shut up. And I was like, oh, boo-hoo, Astros. You couldn't win a World Series with Dusty Baker, and the Braves came in and spicked your butt. Since 1995, that was their second World Series. And he was like, son, let me just remind you of something. I was like, yeah, what's up? He goes, I could easily not let you come up here. And I was like, I hope your Astros win next year. I'm a Rangers fan, dude. I don't really care if the Astros win or lose. I'm like, sorry, like my team sucks every year, and I have to endure the Texas Rangers every single year, and they don't have talent, and we all know how that goes. But then Dusty Baker, I hear Dusty Baker's coming for the Astros. Oh yeah, Lord Jesus, take the wheel from that those Astros hands, because they don't need to go to another World Series. They've been to 2 already. They've been to 3.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Man.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's really crazy, you know. But dude, I am really excited about, like, even with like Oklahoma and stuff, you know. Like, I finally will be able to podcast on a regular basis for a couple months, which I plan on, you know, like, especially after next Monday night, I will probably be dropping a podcast about it and being like, this is what I saw. Oh, dude. We have to start doing a Monday night and Thursday night freaking podcast. Sunday night, Monday night, and freaking Thursday night football. Because literally, I'll listen to the last Sunday night football podcast. We did a pretty good job with it, you know? It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it may not be every week I can do it, but we should do it when we can.
Heck yeah. But I'm going to get ready for college football today because it is college football weekend, and I've been waiting all freaking week. I was in Austin last weekend for a couple of days.
Who's the front runner right now? I saw Bama wasn't doing too good a couple weeks ago.
It looks like Georgia's number 1. Not a surprise. You have Cincinnati at number 2. I think Ohio State's number 3. And then Michigan was obviously in the talk, but then they lost to Michigan State. We all know Michigan State was so happy to beat Michigan and take them out of the. I think Bama's number 4. I don't know. I mean, it could change from week to week, but dude, it's gonna be crazy. Come December, which is like in another month, which is crazy. By December, we should. At that point, we'll already know who the Heisman runner-up is. We'll know who is going to be in the playoffs and who won't be, you know. So I don't know. You know, the college playoff system is a little crazy. They need to fix it, you know, because last year Cincinnati was supposed to be in it, but then they got knocked out. Coastal Carolina was the same way. I don't know. It's going to be crazy just to see who's going to be in it this year for the most part.
Yeah, I just don't keep up. I just don't really keep up too good with college, you know. So I never know exactly what's going on.
I think it's that's not. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna go get ready. So.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Thank you for doing the podcast, Chris. All right. I don't know if he left or what. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. It's been a really long podcast. I guess only hour 15 minutes, but still longer than some of them. And thanks everybody for listening.